Welcome everybody and welcome back to the live strolls with the lovely Ezra. She's leading the way. She came back as Ralph from the dog sitters last night after a trip away to Mallorca. I don't know whether any of you saw any of the live strolls that I did whilst I was there. We saw some lovely sort of beach walks, beach strolls that we did, some lovely scenery. Really was quite a pleasure doing them, apart from one particular morning where it was absolutely pouring with rain and I was just getting soaked and I was on the verge of coming back and then it sort of stopped. I thought, okay, we'll give it another go. Carried on, and only for it to start again further around, but by then it's too late, you're sort of well into it, unfortunately. So yeah, we are back. Back to doing what we love doing, our live strolls, Monday to Sunday, obviously different times during the week earlier, at the weekends a bit later, obviously. It is Easter Monday today. Happy Easter to everyone. And we are going to do the fields stroll this morning. So that is basically heading Ashra. She's woofing at something. Oh, it's a cat. She hasn't seen a cat before. Ashra, leave the cat. It's minding its own business. Why can't you mind yours? He's not even worried by you. You're doing all the worrying and you're twice the size. Okay, so I was just checking that the live stroll was in fact working all okay. It is, so we are good to rock and roll. So how is everybody? Because obviously I'm very well aware that some of the regular dog walking crew may not have been watching last week and so on, so asking the question, how is everybody? And what's everybody up to today for their Easter Monday? Hopefully being able to chill. Well, good morning. So yeah, we for us today it is going to be, this morning we are going to go and play crazy golf because my brother and his daughter, obviously our niece, are here. And we're literally only going to see them today because I believe they go home tomorrow. They've been here whilst we've actually been away, the vast majority of it actually, which has been nice for Mum. Thank you for the like already, I do appreciate it. If you are new here, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe, hit the bell, you'll know when we're on. But this is Azure leading the way. And we are so lucky that we, hopefully in the next few weeks, we're not relying on the artificial light that we have been, because we can get the lighter mornings now. But it will take a bit of time. I looked this morning and it was about 5:30, and I don't think we had enough light at 5:30, so I can't really go out much later than 5:15 at the minute during the week. So it won't be long, guys. It won't be long before we start doing the walk we're going to be doing this morning, pretty much every day, with some variation, obviously. So yeah, going back to today, we then go for a nice meal out locally, which hopefully will be very, very nice. Then they've got sort of a fun day going on, so I think there's a bouncy castle and some other bits and pieces. So no doubt James will have to do his big cousin duties and take his cousin out and get her on a bouncy castle and what have you. And then basically, that is it for today. Not a lot really. Oh, we've got to go and get shopping this morning actually, because obviously, as I said, we've been away. So we've got nothing really at home. We did pop out on our way home last night. We did pop into the pub and get a cheeky lunch. We just had nothing at home. We did, but it would have been frozen stuff. And yeah, Julie just said, should we just go and get a cheeky lunch from somewhere, which we did, which was lovely. But you know what it's like when you hit a cliff when you've been travelling, and you hit a cliff of tiredness. And I hit that cliff in the pub, and I really wasn't that hungry. I ate all my meal, but I was eating it for eating its sake, because obviously it costs money. But I wasn't really that hungry. And I was quite pleased in the end to get home, get my contact lenses out, get my glasses on, and that sort of gives me a little bit more of a lease of life. I think the contact lenses were the thing that were tiring me out more than anything else. And the only reason I had them in is because we had to negotiate these e-gates, and my passport is without my glasses on. So now, when I travel, I have to travel with me contact lenses in, because if not, these e-gates are just a pain in the arse. Excuse my French. Especially in Europe, not so much maybe. Well, even coming back here, if you're using the e-gates. I mean, yesterday, every single time I've been through the e-gates, and then for the first time yesterday, as I said to you, I had my contact lenses in, breezed through first time, no problem. And I must have been through them a number of times and had problems every single time. And you get so cross because at the end of the day, you follow the instructions. But of course, when you're not got your glasses on, you can't always necessarily see exactly what it's telling you to do and when. So yeah, anyway, long story cut short, we got through it all okay. I reckon from the time we landed yesterday to the time we got our baggages and got to the meet and greet and got the car, if it was 45 minutes, I reckon that was about right. I mean, that's getting through the e-gates and the luggage not even on the carousel at that point. It came shortly after we got out. So that's not bad going actually, guys. Especially on an Easter Sunday. But I will say as well, isn't Easter Sunday supposed to be the second quietest day of the year after Christmas Day? You certainly wouldn't have thought it, either at the airport or coming home. It was so busy yesterday. It really was. I think more and more people are opening up on Easter Sunday. Even Tesco's at Bishop Stortford was open. We didn't go in there, we could have. But I think it should be respected, Easter Sunday. I think only sort of little shops, sort of convenient shops should be open. I don't think the big supermarkets should be, in my opinion. And my opinion doesn't count for a lot, guys. Okay, so those of you that have been with me before will know where we are. We are currently heading out into the fields and the greenery of the village. And then we make our way across the fields into the wooded area and back round. I don't know how much walking Asher's sort of done where she's been. I think they sort of get let out and run around and all that sort of thing, but as to sort of proper sort of exercise, I'm not quite sure how much she's actually done, like we normally do every week. I mean, I can honestly say I've been doing an average of 3 to 6 miles every single day we've been away, because I've been going out doing my live strolls And then going out with Julia. Thank you for another like. I didn't see that come through. Right, Azra is just going to the loo, so we're going to sort that out. No, she's not. Yes, she is. No, she's not. Finally going. Took her about 2 or 3 attempts to sort of decide where she wanted to go. Quite fresh this morning, guys. Azra, bring it over here and use this bin. We're right here. Yeah, currently 3 degrees. 3 degrees. Now, I don't want to be flash or sound stupid, but what are we now? Monday. This time last Monday, it was I think about 12 degrees when I went out for my live stroll without Ezra. Had a pair of shorts on. I did have my top on because I'll tell you a story. We were actually sitting on the beach some days where it was about 15 to 18 degrees. Now, I honestly don't think if we were in the UK, we would have done that. I think in the UK, sort of, it probably has to be sub 20, 20 plus, sorry, to be sitting on the beach. But I think because you're there and the sun perhaps is a bit warmer, is it? I don't know. Always feels a bit different, doesn't it, when you're on holiday to the English weather? But come on, Ezra, we did it, and then, you know, us hardened Brits. You know, I was sitting there with my t-shirt and shorts on, but at times James is saying, "Oh, I'm cold," and you think to yourself, "Oh, can't show him that I'm cold too." But it was a bit chilly at times, especially there was a bit of a sort of cold breeze. I wouldn't say wind, breeze, probably 3 to 5 miles an hour, but it was quite a cold one. And sort of when it sort of isn't being broken and it sweeps across, it gets flipping cold. Anyway, that's life. Nice to have got away, nice to have had some family time, lots of memories, lots of vlogs coming out. You've already got travel day, so you've got pre-travel day, I think you've got travel day, and I think you've got the first day. So this time last week, he's on there. He's on the channel already if anyone is interested in watching those. There's been a few. My videos do always take time to get going, to get into the algorithm and all that sort of stuff. So feel free to give them a watch. There's some entertaining bits in there along the way. And don't forget to wait for pillow talk at the end of each vlog, guys. What we're doing now is on the travel vlogs. These bunnies. What we're doing now is at the end of each day, we're doing pillow talk, which is basically, Azra, leave it. We're talking about the day, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and it just ends the vlog on a nicer note rather than sometimes, and I'm the world's worst for it at times, I sort of finish the last segment, whatever that is, and then I don't really end the vlog properly, and it's just, I think it looks crap at times actually, and I've sort of said it quite openly when I've been doing them. It doesn't look great, and as I'm getting better at doing it, is that the right way of putting it? Because obviously on a small channel which has got just shy of 1,000 subscribers, you sort of, it's taking time to get going. But the point is, as you sort of get perhaps more used to doing it, you sort of understand what works, what doesn't, And ultimately, as I've always said, my channel is all about the memories, my hobbies, which is doing this in the mornings. It will never make any money, and I just enjoy you guys being out with me, watching, commenting. You know, this is one of the first mornings I think for a long time we've not had much sort of conversation, so it's been a lot of me nattering away, which is fine to a degree, but I also get to a point where even I run out of things to say. So then you just have to enjoy the show, which is fine. What I would say is, guys, and I'll give a sort of a caveat here, this phone that I'm using to record is on 13%. It was on 11 when I woke up, and I tried to get some charge into it quickly because I don't want to leave it much later to come out. But it will get to a point where, unfortunately, we will have to end this. But we've got ages yet, absolutely ages, so no need to dash off. We're down to the wooded area. You can hear all around me. Hopefully the birds singing and chirping. They're happy. Spring is springing. Clock's sprung forward an hour, so we get, unfortunately, darker mornings again for a bit and lighter evenings. Saving on people's lighting, but the way this temperature is at the minute, I mean, we've not got our heating on, but I would imagine there's still a lot of people that do have their heating on because it is quite chilly. The temperatures during the day in the week are supposed to be quite high, I believe, from what I've seen, sort of 18 tomorrow and Wednesday, I believe, which is a very decent temperature for the UK. But then the evenings drop off to sort of 1, 2, 3 degrees. So there's such a big difference in temperature from day to night at the minute. I'm so pleased they put this bark down, these chippings. How long it will last for, I don't know. I hope it does really well because this is one of the biggest things coming through here. It's how mucky, how mucky and messy it gets. Go on, Azra, good girl. It makes such a big difference. What is the time? 7 o'clock. Okay. I think we'll sort of go under the bridge and work our way round. Just extend this out a little bit for her as well, and me. All good exercise. I don't think any of us, whilst we've been on holiday, have actually overdone it with food. I truly don't. And I can sympathetically say, if I have, the amount of exercise I've done probably outweighed it anyway, to be honest with you. I haven't weighed myself since I've been back. Maybe I'll do that in the morning. As we're going out today for lunch anyway. At least then I've got a starting point because I do need, on a serious note, to get back on my diet because the next big travel series, and there will be other things before, but the next big travel series will be at the end of September, and we are going to Florida, God willing, with everything else that's going on in the world. Who knows, but let's keep our fingers crossed that everything's well there. And we're going to some of the theme parks for it's our 20-year wedding anniversary due. Now, Julie and I were both supposed to be in America to celebrate our 40th birthdays. Funny enough, they sort of cropped up during COVID, or mine certainly did. Julie's was a year later, but obviously we were still in the midst of borders being shut and stuff like that. So I will be desperately disappointed if there are problems. I think the long haul stuff will be less affected. I think it's more the short haul stuff at this stage. And even that, I think jet fuel, which is becoming a problem at the minute. I mean, I cannot see, who knows what's going to happen with this war. You know, I try not to get political with my channel, but who knows what's going to happen. You know, they reckon it's going to be done and dusted in 2 or 3 weeks. Well, who absolutely definitively, with certainty, knows. Nobody knows. So all we can really say is that there's bigger things in the world going on people's holidays, and I get it. But also, think people do look forward to their summer holidays, especially. I mean, we're staying in the UK for our summer holidays, so I'm less worried, but I'm sure there will be people that are worried about it. Come on, Ezra. Good girl. Here we go, we're making the turn across in the fields. And you can see there is frost this morning, guys. As we're watching the sun rising there in front. Sun rising a lot earlier here in the UK than in Mallorca, Peguera, where we've been. I think I was sort of literally hanging out a Stroll. I think it was Friday until about sort of 8:15, and I've been on since probably about 7. Yeah, no, I think in the end it went on for about an hour, so I must have been on for about 7:15. And we didn't have many clear mornings, so I really wanted it to work on the Friday, and finally it did. But I had to really scrabble to find a spot because it was taking ages to come up. And I finally found it. If you are interested in seeing an absolutely beautiful sunrise, watch the Friday live, just gone, and you will be able to enjoy that. As I say, there will be a new vlog coming out every 2 to 3 days for the next couple of weeks, reference to the Mallorca holiday. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. It is just us on our holiday, no plans, just sort of very sort of spontaneous. I think the next one that comes out tonight is actually James's birthday, which there's not an awful lot on there of his birthday because obviously he's 15, he doesn't want to be embarrassed. But we did market day, and also we opened his cards, and the hotel, I've been very critical of the hotel, quite rightly, and you'll see that in the hotel review when it comes out. But they were very kind. They sort of delivered a bottle of champagne to our room with 3 champagne flutes. I think they then realised how old James actually was, which I'm sure they must have seen from his passport, because that's the only way they knew how old he was, because we hadn't told them anything. We hadn't arranged any of it. They then brought him up some orange juice, so he was able to do some Bucks Fizz. But it was a nice gesture. So that's one thing I would say in their favour. But there wasn't a lot else, guys. The hotel was just about passable. And I've already done a Google review for them, so if you were interested in that, you certainly have a look on the Google reviews, and there will be a proper hotel review. And we were very honest in the hotel review, because both of us, and I still do work in the public sector, and I get it. It's very difficult for people on the ground sometimes to sort out some problems. But the hotel management, they need to really read the Google review, watch the vlog, which I'm sure they probably won't, and understand what people, because we're not the only ones that are complaining about some of this stuff, by the way, guys. Anyway, over the long jump or high jump, as she goes, she didn't make too much meal of that. Some mornings she goes over it like it's the worst possible thing for her that she's done. Got some fellow dog walkers over to our left. They're far enough away that they're not going to cause us any aggravation. And when I say aggravation, guys, I mean actually getting overly excited, pulling all over the place. Onwards we travel. We are now down to 5% on my phone. So I think a couple more percent, and we're probably going to have to cut this one short. I think we've actually had quite a nice chat, quite a nice stroll this morning. It's been all me talking though, guys. If anyone wants to comment, keep it clean. What's everybody up to today? Where's everybody watching from? What time is it where you are? Give you something to work with, guys. There are quite a few people watching at different times during the stroll, which has been great. Because again, there's nothing worse than talking to yourself. But yeah, let's have more chat. Did anyone actually see any of my lives last week from York? And if they may be regular subscribers, I don't know. Because it was completely different from me doing it, without having to worry about her. It was just sort of being quite a free-loading conversations, and not really. I mean, all these live strolls are ad-libbed, and you'll notice, guys, if you do watch any of the vlogs, there are some of the later vlogs where I have had to sort of over speak what's going on for one reason or another, and none of that is rehearsed. And Julia said to me, "Yeah, it's just you just roll it off without any lines, any thoughts." And literally, guys, what you see happening is what I react to, and that is honestly the honest truth. So there's no screenplay. It's literally, and they're not out today. They're over the back, Azra, your horsey friends. It's literally what I see in front of me. Pretty much when I'm doing these, I treat them just the same. I know what's been on the video because I've watched the video prior to obviously talking about it. So I've edited it, so I know what's coming. You know, that's the only bit of information I've got, other than physically remembering, which is why it's so important when you're doing this vlogging malarkey, is you try and get them on in a timely fashion. You know, there are some people who I enjoy watching their vlogs, by the way, but they sort of put their vlogs on 2-3 months later, and I just wonder how they can remember everything. But I don't know. I find it a bit more awkward sometimes talking when I'm around people. So doing the video in silence allows me to make the vlogs for myself, for our memories, but also for you guys. But also, I can then look back at them and then reminisce and then talk to you guys about it quite freely. And I think that's more important to me. My vlogging is maybe slightly different to others. There's some vlogs that I think probably travel day and the first few days, there's none of the over speaking at all. It's all literally us live at the time. But I would say the later ones, there's a lot more sort of over speaking, you know, because you just sort of remember more perhaps sometimes when you watch it back about what's going on. And I like to give you guys as much information as possible. The live I did on Friday of walking around Pagera with bus stops and stuff like that, it was a pleasure doing it, because if it helps just one person, I've been pleased with myself. So I do try and be as informative as I can on these vlogs as well, when I can. What are we on now? It's sitting and holding at 5. As I say, I think if it gets to sort of 3 or 4, that's when unfortunately we're going to have to call it. But we might be getting to the point where we're getting towards the end anyway, when it gets to that, because we've not got loads left now, to be fair. Another maybe 10-15 minutes. And as I say, it's been quite a nice Easter Monday stroll. We've seen one other dog walker, but they were in distance. We saw a cyclist who was very polite. Caught me off guard actually, and I always say I catch people off guard when I say good morning. But I was sort of prepping the live when he said it to me, and I almost tripped over my words. Very shocked. Anyway, so if it's not too late, if you do like and subscribe, hit the old bell, you'll know when we're on. Tomorrow will be a bit earlier, probably out between 5 and 15:15. Hopefully get the tail end of the light coming up. And as I say, I reckon looking at it this morning, it is a sunny morning to be fair. I reckon 2 to 4 weeks we'll have good mornings for light without any need for the artificial light, and that'll be a joy. I love it when the clocks change. It makes such a big difference for not only me, but you guys obviously getting more of a perspective of what's going on around. You know, the dark doesn't help the lights because you can only really see the light of whatever it is, 2 to 5 metres in front, if that at times. So yeah, all a big difference. But we won't extend anymore. I was going to do the sort of wooded area and through the science park, but we'll just come up to the main road and then we'll keep going for another percent or two. We're about 10 minutes or so from home anyway, so we're doing pretty well for time. And then got to go with Julia to Tesco's to get our online shop, get that home. Then we're waiting on my brother, as I say, to sort out golf this morning. Do that, and then we've got lunch at 1. So, but then after that, come on, Adrian. They are coming back to ours actually for a little while. His little girl wants to see her, and obviously the tortoise as well. Ralph's a bit more vocal and a bit more yappy, so he might not come out. In fact, he probably won't come out. He'll stay in the kitchen. Anyway, what a lovely morning to start the week. Usually over Easter, it's always a bit of this, isn't it? It's that sort of April showers sort of phase. But yesterday was nice and sunny when we landed. I had my sunglasses on driving home. And if it carries on the way it is this morning, I might not wear my sunglasses when I go and get the shopping, but I might when we go to play golf if it carries on. Maybe I'll do a little bit of vlogging from our golf later on, being constructive with missing out. Obviously, my brother's little girls, they don't like all that. But I'll get Julie involved and myself on as much as possible. We'll, we'll look to do something with that as much as we can. It might be a short one, I don't know, but if it's worth doing, I will get it on. Just like I've done with every other vlog. There's even a vlog that's gone on. It's only about 10 minutes, which was us going out for a meal on our last night. But the meal was so nice. I'm so pleased I started off a vlog at the hotel sort of saying, I don't know whether this is even going to come out, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, none of it is planned. And sometimes you go out and you're making these vlogs and things do go wrong. And sometimes, it's not worth putting them on. I'm very lucky. It doesn't happen that often with me. I think what helps me is because I do a lot of lives, I sort of treat the vlogs like that a little bit as well, where it's there and then, and you get one take. And yeah, it's the future of bust, isn't it, at times with these things. Right, guys, we're now down to 2%, so I'm going to lose you very shortly. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Like and subscribe. Hit the old bell. Lovely to have you company this morning. And we will reconvene tomorrow. Ashley, you can say goodbye? Good girl. Good girl.